just so blessed to be able to, have this opportunity to be able to play at this level with a great group of guys. And I've thought about it for a long time if I ever got here, and it's for sure going to the Pops.
It was a special night for Cooper Ingle as the Guardians got a much-needed win, 4-3 over Seattle, to set up the rubber match here today on a beautiful afternoon at Progressive Field. The Big Rig taking the hill for the Guardians.
Making his 17th start of the season. It's been a rough month of June for the Big Rig, but as you heard Andre and Carl Willis talk about, this is the perfect lineup for him to get back on track. Continuing to pound the strike zone with that breaking ball, fastball velocity. This lineup's got a lot of swing and miss in it and a lot of early outs if you know where to get them.
Let's take a look at that starting lineup for Dan Wilson and the Seattle Mariners. J.P. Crawford in the leadoff spot, followed by Julio Rodriguez, then Josh Naylor batting third. Randy Arozarena will hit cleanup, followed by Cal Raleigh, who will DH today. Cole Young at second base hitting sixth. Colt Emerson, the shortstop, bats seventh. Mitch Garver will handle the catching duties and bat eighth. Victor Robles in right field will bat ninth.
Defensively this afternoon for the Guardians, Cooper Ingle making his first major league start out in left field. Stephen Kwan in center. Khalil Watson back out in right. On the left side of the infield, Gabriel Arias and Brian Rocchio. Travis Bazzana, Kyle Manzardo on the right, and Austin Hedges getting his first start of the series behind the plate.
Nate Tomlinson will call the balls and strikes this afternoon. Bruce Dreckman is your first base umpire. Mark Wegner, the crew chief, is at second base. And over third, Carlos Torres. 79 degrees and not a cloud in sight on this Sunday afternoon here at Progressive Field. Interesting in that the winner today takes the series, takes the season series, and all time in this ballpark, Cleveland and Seattle, 62 and 62. And these two teams played the first ever game here at Progressive Field back in 1994.
Who's to say there's not a little juice behind this game in the middle of June, huh?
A lot on the line as we get started here today. Guardians begin play a game back of front-running Chicago in the AL Central. Seattle leads the AL West by a half game now over Texas. Gavin Williams peers in, has the sign. He winds it up, and today's first pitch up and away, ball one. J.P. Crawford, 1 for 9 in the series. Chops that foul. Last year was something of, I guess you would call it an anomaly for J.P. Crawford. He went 9 for 21 against Cleveland pitching. You take that away, in the rest of his career, he's a .204 hitter against the Guardians.
I do remember both series against the Guardians last year.
Strokes that into right field.
That's what it looked like. A lot of those.
He had a 7-hit series against Cleveland out in Seattle. And in the series finale last year here in Cleveland, he had 2 more hits. Got a breaking ball there. It stayed up, and he deposited it into right field.
That also tells me one thing right out of the chute, that's a pitch that they're looking to attack early in counts.
Julio Rodriguez takes a fastball for a strike. Do you immediately adjust as the catcher when you see that, or do you kind of let the game play out a little bit before you make any kind of adjustment?
This early, you're definitely bookmarking that and putting that in the back of your head, knowing, hey, we have to execute this pitch. But if you can get something out of the strike zone and get a, kind of a half swing or a swing over it, you got to know they're on that pitch today.
That two-seamer fouled off to the right. It's 0-2 on Rodriguez. Batting just .213 in the month of June, but he's starting to heat up. He's 6 for his last 21. The All-Star break on the horizon, and historically, he has been a different hitter in the second half. Up high, ball one.
Well, this is a curveball type count too.
In his career, boy, look at those numbers jump. July, August, September.
Talk about finishing the year strong.
1-2 the count. There's the curveball, and he strikes him out with it. Good action down and away.
Batting third
One down here in the first.
Well, you can see the spike there on this sweeper. This is a really good one. Kind of a wave and see you later, but look at this pitch. Never really a strike. Not much damage going to happen to you right there. That's great execution by Gavin for the first out. And now you're a ground ball away.
Josh Naylor. He leads the Mariners, having grounded into 12 double plays on the year.
Chris, were you at all surprised that Carl talked about the curveball being the pitch he really couldn't find the last two starts after getting pushed back a couple days?
Not at all. It's such a feel pitch, and I know it's been so good for him this year.
Stroke to center. Stephen Kwan moving over, makes the grab. 2 down.
But the fastball is the easiest pitch to continue to find that release point for. The breaking ball, since he has two different shapes and two different types of curveballs, one being the sweeper, the other one being the top to bottom curveball, finding that release point can be difficult every 5th day, and then you move that back or you change up that routine just a little bit.
I think the other party said he's a big man, and sometimes
boy,
with a big man, you got to stay on rhythm.
Randy Arozarena takes ball 1. 8th in the American League in batting average, or rather 9th in the American League in batting average, with a .288 average entering play today. Arozarena was 2 for his last 15, and then reached in his last 3 plate appearances last night, including that monster 3-run homer that got the Mariners right back in it.
You aren't joking about the monster home run. It was a 30 for 30, Chris. Would have made it out of every ballpark.
That's right. Well, you hit him over there. You had a Yellowstone.
Right.
Cleared the 19-foot wall just to the left of straightaway center. It was a majestic drive. 2 down, first inning. A runner at first base is J.P. Crawford. And the 2-1 pitch. A good two-seam fastball by him. 2-2.
Well, we talked about this last night. There's a 2-0 count. Trying to find something at the bottom part of the strike zone. You couldn't elevate in a situation like that. And Randy Arozarena loves those teal jerseys a little bit better than these navy ones.
He got him to go fish and strikes him out. A couple of Ks in the first for the big rig. And the Guardians are coming to bat. Chris, what do you have today for our Toyota keys to the game?
Well, first and foremost, he's back. Chase DeLauder right back in the heart of this lineup. Activated off the injured list today. And trust me, the Seattle Mariners team does not want to see that young man in the heart of this lineup. And number 2 is B. Pesky. Yesterday, last night, they got back to kind of being pesky, being a little bit more guards ball-like, stringing a few hits together. That's the identity of this team, and they need to continue on with that.
Stephen Kwan leading it off for the Guardians, takes a strike. And Emerson Hancock misses to even the count at 1-1. Hancock originally was scheduled to piggyback last night's starter, Logan Gilbert. But the Mariners changed their mind yesterday, giving Gilbert more runway and starting Hancock this afternoon. Juan grounds out, 1 down.
Well, speaking of that pitcher, it is Emerson Hancock making his 16th start of the season. You can see the numbers there on your screen. This young man's coming at you. He does not walk people. He loves to go side to side, a little bit more of east-west type movement. You're going to see a very low arm slot out of this young man.
It looks like he has extension as well from over here. Not like we saw last night, but he's got a pretty good extension where he's letting the ball go. Now he's a little bit different than we saw him the first time. He didn't give up a hit in 6 innings, but the last 2 times out, he has not pitched very well, Chris.
But we hope that that continues, because with Mitch Garver, who is behind the plate today for the Seattle Mariners, 3 starts with Garver this year. He's 1-0 with a 1.42 ERA, an opponent batting average of just 136, and 2 walks to 24 punchouts.
Hancock normally is very tough to hit. He's only allowed 68 hits in 85 innings of work. But as Andre alluded to, in his last 2 starts, he's given up 10 hits in 9 in the 3rd innings of work. Travis Bazzana takes inside, ball 4, a 4-pitch walk from a guy who normally doesn't walk anybody.
Right.
Here's the rest of the Guardians starting lineup for manager Stephen Vogt, brought to you by Progressive. Chase DeLauder back in the lineup today off the injured list. He's DHing and batting 3rd. Kyle Manzardo hits cleanup. Khalil Watson red hot in the 5-hole. Then Brian Rocchio, Cooper Ingle, Gabriel Arias, and Austin Hedges batting 9th. DeLauder back after missing 11 games with the rib fracture suffered when he crashed into the right field wall against Detroit.
The amazing thing out of that, Matt, is he went up and had an at-bat and had a nice swing off Skubal and got a hit before he left that game.
Yeah, that's right.
Pulls that foul over toward the Seattle dugout. DeLauder, 5 home runs in his first 7 games this year. A lot of that came against the Mariners in that first series of the season, the 4-gamer at T-Mobile Park. Back safely is Bazzana, who has stolen 12 out of 15 on the year.
Well, Chase DeLauder certainly set the expectation about as sky high as you could possibly imagine.
Strike 3 called. Rung him up on the outside corner, 2 down.
I think Chase was looking for something softer here, coming back towards him. That was 98 at the top part of the strike zone.
Though. It started in the middle of the plate.
Yep, that's the 2-seamer. He will throw that and the 4-seamer a ton. Very heavy fastball. We'll see occasional cutters, and that sweeper is his main out pitch.
Kyle Manzardo looks at a ball outside.
But like we mentioned, Hancock likes to go east to west or side to side. There's not a lot of depth. Even that sweeper is more side to side than it is a depth pitch.
What does that do for a hitter?
You have to, at that point, you got to know in and out in the corners of your strike zone as opposed to the top and bottom. And so much of baseball in today's day and age is 4-seamers at the top and the big top to bottom curveball or the split. It just changes your direction of what you're trying to do or where you're looking.
What's funny is Rocchio just asked DeLauder, how's it moving? And he just said what you said. He goes, and it's good at the end.
Well, with 2 strikes, Manzardo's in protect mode. Prior to 2 away.
That's exactly right. You pick a half of the plate and attack.
Fights it off, stays alive, 1-2. Manzardo, 3 doubles, 4 homers, 10 runs batted in the month of June. He has hit in each of the first 2 games of the series, both singles. Hancock wants a new baseball.
Hancock a little bit more of a throwback, sinker slider type guy. Back to the good old days when they didn't throw 100, or everybody didn't throw 100. You might have just had one guy that threw 100.
Oh man, he broke off a pretty good curveball, and a challenge coming from Mitch Garver.
The pitcher's called a ball. The catcher's challenging.
ABS powered by T-Mobile. And it is strike 3.
The call's overturned. It is strike 3.
Over. A couple of Ks for Emerson Hancock. No score after 1.
Listen.
29, Cal Raleigh.
No score, 2nd inning. And Cal Raleigh will lead it off for Seattle. He's DHing today. 0 for 6 in the series. He checks on a ball up high. What do you think when a guy's struggling like this offensively? Can DHing, taking the catching duties away for a day, maybe clear your mind a little bit?
It certainly can. You know, now you're focused on one thing. It's attacking the strike zone, trying to get that feel for your swing back. You know, he's missed a decent amount of time with an oblique injury, and as a switch hitter in particular, that could be a tricky one. But again, the curse of the WBC may be haunting him right now.
The 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Just 4 for his last 30 with 14 strikeouts. Cal Raleigh. A year ago, he had 17 home runs at this point.
I mean, as incredible as his year was last year, and truthfully, he should have been the MVP. And that's not taking anything away from Aaron Judge, but as a former catcher and knowing the rigors that it takes to go back there as many times as he did last year, to hit 60 home runs is a pretty darn impressive thing.
It's amazing.
And to think that you could possibly try that again is insane.
Left field. Cooper Engel racing in. He won't get there. He's playing a little deep. Engel transitioning to that outfield position. He played outfield in college.
Batting 6 for the Mariners, second baseman number 2, Cole Young.
So the Mariners get their leadoff man aboard, and now Cole Young coming to the plate. You know, there's a thing in baseball where you say, you know, you leave your personal life at home when you walk into the clubhouse, but for the guys who hail from Venezuela, Gabby Arias, Brian Rocchio, it's a lot harder to do that in the last several days since the earthquake struck Venezuela. Over 1,400 people have been confirmed dead. Tens of thousands of people are still reported missing. They fear that that death toll will rise incrementally as the days go on. It just utter devastation near the capital of Caracas. It's very close to home for Brian Rocchio, also for Rugi Odor, Cleveland's third base coach. In fact, Rugi told me his nephew, your former teammate, Rougned Odor, is playing professionally down in Venezuela right now. Pop to center. In comes Kwan. He's there. And that's the first out of the inning, as Cole Young is retired. And he said Rougned was playing a game when the earthquake struck, and he told his uncle, we were looking out beyond the outfield wall as everything was shaking, and we saw a building literally collapse just beyond the ballpark. So you can only imagine the devastation that has befallen the country of Venezuela, especially in that region near the capital of Caracas. And certainly our thoughts and prayers with everyone there. And so many baseball players hail from Venezuela. And it's got to be extremely difficult to go out here, put that aside, and focus on your job. But that's what these guys do. And yet as soon as the game's over, they're right back to their phones, checking on loved ones and friends, because with so many people still unaccounted for, you're hoping.
You're hoping.
But with each passing hour, the hope diminishes a little bit more.
And I know earthquakes aren't something, you know, here in Northeast Ohio that we've become accustomed to. I grew up in Northern California where they were a regularity, and I remember the '89 earthquake. And it was very similar. You know, nobody could get a hold of anybody. Communications are down. That's half the issue. You know, we had bridges collapsing and buildings falling down, and I mean, it's pure chaos. And I empathize so much with those two, and Rugi in particular, because we couldn't get a hold of relatives either. And until communications were back up, you figure out, you know, back then we didn't have FaceTime or anything like that, or even cell phones for that matter. You know, everything was landline based. So the baseball game hopefully gives them a little reprieve of the grief and worry that they're constantly, you know, feeling right now. But like you said, it's as soon as that game's over, you're hoping you get some positive text messages or WhatsApp, something like that.
In there for a strike to Mitch Garver. Getting the start behind the plate today, giving Cal Raleigh a day off from catching duties, but Raleigh not right now standing out in scoring position after a leadoff single here in the second. 2-1 from Gavin. Line to right field. That's a base hit. Raleigh around third. They're going to wave him home. Khalil Watson's throw off balance. Not quite in time. Raleigh beats the tag, and the Mariners take a 1-0 lead. So Mitch Garver paying dividends with the start today.
Well, this is just a really good swing. This is a fastball in the outer third of the plate. You can see Mitch Garver going with it, not trying to do too much. Khalil Watson, though, trying to make that throw on the run. You'd love to see him maybe set his feet. I think he may have had a little extra time there than he thought initially, but again, another young man that's getting used to the outfield position. And will continue to get better with those reps.
Now Victor Robles fouls the first pitch back. Robles missed time early in the year with a chest injury. He was out from April 7th to May 22nd. Right now just 2 for his last 18. Former Washington National checks he went too far. It's 0-2. In the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good pick there by Hedgie. Garver at first base. You can't really let your guard down in that situation, even though it is the catcher over there.
Checked on a ball just off the outside corner. And a full count, so Garver will be off with the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Number 3 for Gavin. Mariners strike first. They lead 1-0 midway through the second.
KeyBank.
Bet365 betting odds today. Khalil Watson leading off the home half of the second. A 5-game hitting streak for Khalil. He's gone 7 for 16 with 8 runs batted in. He's knocked in 1 in each of the first 2 games of this series. And he singles into left field.
I would imagine the baseball looks like a beach ball to Khalil Watson right now. And that is a beautiful thing. You can see, tried to go fastball at the top part of the strike zone, a little 2-seamer.
Yep.
Khalil was on top of it and just utilizing the entire field.
You just said it perfectly, how he's used the whole field. I know that Stephen Vogt said the other day that told him a lot in Chicago. He's done that, but that just seems like his natural swing, that he doesn't try to pull things if it's not there to be pulled, which you don't see a lot of young hitters do, Chris.
Not at all. I've been very impressed with the young hitters that have made their debuts this year, just in their approach at the plate. So many times as a young kid, especially in a situation like the Guardians are in right now, where they're in need of offense, trying to do too much, just it's natural, you know, to try to step up and be that guy. But the fact that Brian Rocchio, being a young hitter in his own right, Khalil Watson, Engel, Jace DeLauder, Travis Bazzana.
A lot of short swings, no?
A lot of short swings.
Rocchio rips one foul.
He brought J.P. Crawford in on that first pitch and tried to slash it by him right there. Crawford likes playing closer. I've noticed all weekend long, he has been on that cut of the grass almost on every left-handed hitter, and it's pretty much all we got.
That is the truth.
Fouled back.
He tried to go that way again. Again, there's a big hole with him in so close at third base. Your range is limited.
Well, how much does that 2-seamer play into it as well? He's running away from him.
it's an easier pitch to be able to go that way with if you can stay on it.
Brian Rocchio batting .325 here at home this year. Just outside, full count.
And again, they're trying to use that fastball in the outer third. But just like we talked about, you got to know the corners of the strike zone, and Brian Rocchio is doing a fantastic job of that right now.
There goes Khalil, and the 3-2 pitch is fouled right back.
The one thing the Mariners do a fantastic job of from a starting rotation, yes, throw strikes, get ahead of hitters, but paying attention to runners at first base. Extremely quick feet on pickoff moves.
There goes Watson again. It's ball 4. So the Guardians have their first 2 aboard here in the second, trying to answer back after the Mariners grabbed a 1-0 lead in the top half of the inning. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. There's your look at Khalil Watson's 7 hits so far entering today.
Look at all those singles on the plate or behind it. That's allowing the ball to travel. The home run to the pull side, that's a nice short swing. Same thing with that double. You want to be able to catch those balls out front.
And that was a case where he was hunting, because that was a fastball in Chicago, and he got the head out quick and blasted it to right field. Now Cooper Ingle takes ball 1, and that's going to send Mitch Garver out to talk to Emerson Hancock, who, as I said, you know, you mentioned it. He's an attack guy, doesn't walk a lot. He's walked 2 already. He's walked more than 2 in a game only twice this year, the last time back on May 20th.
Well, Matt, could it be that he's getting to it? He's thrown as many innings as he did last year already. He's about right at that mark. We don't know him that well, but we know when pitchers start getting over that threshold, things can change. Could that be part of the reason why?
I don't know. Interestingly enough, both of his games where he's walked 3 batters, that's his season high, both times against the Chicago White Sox. Maybe he's allergic to the Central. Cooper Ingle takes a backdoor cutter for a strike. Cooper pulled the ball through the right side of the infield with the infield in yesterday, knocking in 2. Runner at second, Khalil Watson. He was breaking for third. But on the foul ball, he'll go back.
He got a fantastic jump on that too. You know, that's one of those, even though a lefty's up, and again, you don't want to take the bat out of Cooper Ingle's hands, but if you are Cooper Ingle, unless that ball's middle in that situation.
Throw back to second. It's close, but Khalil Watson beats the tag.
Hancock throws from that angle no matter what.
Yes, he does. A lot of guys do that.
Watch this tag, by the way. He smacked him right on the head.
This was a close play, of course.
Ooh, you probably felt that one.
That'll wake you up.
Runners go, and the pitch is outside. No throw, a double steal.
Love to see that. Now if you're Cooper Ingle, the at-bat completely changes in this particular case. You can see great jump by both guys here. Standing up the entire way, picked a great pitch to go on. But now with the infield back in this situation, you have to find a way to put a ball in play. The at-bat mentality of the at-bat, at least, completely changes now with runners at second and third.
Cooper spoils a good one.
Andre might need his helmet on over there again.
You know my man Chad has me. He got it though.
Cooper fouls it into the dirt. He stays alive. Here you go, right into your living room.
That's
You want
right.
to be a third
That's
baseman?
right. The camera's right above my head. You want to be me? No, you don't.
I don't want to be you because you don't have a glove.
Hey, my man Chad had me, though. I don't have a glove. You're right. You got any extra helmets?
I trust Chad, though.
Get them pant legs rolled up, I see.
Gotta let him breathe, baby.
Outside, full count.
Man, I've been waiting all year to do this, man. Come on. Hey, I saw it Wednesday, 99 degrees, Chris. There may be a text about 99 on Wednesday afternoon.
Better you than me.
So I might have to bring the legs out.
Second and third, nobody out. Guardians down a run. 3-2 count for Cooper Ingle. And he rings butter.
Well, there's not much you can do about this if you're Cooper Ingle. This is a perfect pitch, and this is kind of a welcome to the big leagues moment right there. Because I don't think you could have placed that ball in the corner of the strike zone any better.
Yeah, if you're not looking out there, that's a tough one to even pull the trigger on. So, and there is Gabriel Arias, infield in. Down low, ball one. I think that's the key for Arias. Hopefully that's a good sign. Make him be on the plate. Don't help him out.
These are the types of guys that you would think with Arias' swing path. There you go. He's got to think right center field, though. We know, and we've all seen it, when he's going well, it's right center field oriented. All he has to do is get a ball into the outfield. I mean, that's a pretty good swing right there on a pitch.
Now, going against a righty finally, how does that change what he does?
I would think it'd help out his swing or his approach even more.
To Naylor, he bobbled the ball. The throw home still in time, though. Watson kind of hung up. And they'll run him back to third. Watson will be safe, and Rocchio will be out. So there are two down.
Watson stopped when you see him stop right there. I'm not saying he would have been safe, but could have changed the play if he would have kept running.
I agree. I think he had time to get back. J.P. Crawford was playing off third base just a bit. But again, they had Josh Naylor perfectly placed there.
Arias alertly got himself to second base. So second and third, two down. Austin Hedges is the batter. Pulls it in the air, left field, and a routine pop for Randy Arozarena ends the threat. 1-0 Seattle after two.
The Ballpark Pass, presented by Planet Fitness, is now on sale for July. Get a standing room ticket for every home game July for just $59. That includes games against the Pirates and White Sox and the 4th of July fireworks. A limited number of passes are available. Get yours today at cleguardians.com/ballparkpass.
Back to the top of the order for Seattle here in the third inning. J.P. Crawford singled to right to start the game. Fouls the first pitch off from Gavin here in inning number 3. He backs away as he's in the hole 0-2. That stays fair. Kyle Manzardo takes it to the bag. Crawford never left the batter's box. One down.
He certainly did not think this ball was going fair. Look at the hop. Kind of stays right on that line. Good job there by Bruce Dreckman at first base. That might be one of those where you're more half embarrassed that you didn't run.
Julio Rodriguez struck out his first time up. Kind of got caught in between. That ball was bearing in on him. Looked like a breaking ball that kind of backed up on Gavin.
That's the second one I've seen from Gavin that's backed up on him today.
You're expecting that ball as a hitter to go the other way, and all of a sudden you start swinging. You're like, uh-oh. Back out of play. It's 1-2.
When I used to work for the Dodgers, they were talking about that being the best pitch in baseball, the backup breaking ball or the high curveball, something like that. I sat there and said, you want me to tell Clayton Kershaw to throw a high breaking ball? You're crazy. But to your point, as a hitter, you see the spin on the baseball and you expect that thing to be in a certain area. When you swing and it doesn't go there, it's not a fun experience.
The 2-2. Trying to hold up. They appeal. He did not go, says Bruce Dreckman.
Talk about nasty pitches. I sent this to Chris last night.
Yeah.
We saw a Tampa pitcher, Matt, throw a knuckle slider, and it was nasty. What else are they going to come up with, Chris? This is ridiculous.
Knuckle split. Here we go.
He checked his swing. It's ball 4, and Rodriguez is aboard with 1 out. First free pass issued by Gavin.
Stepping to the plate for Seattle, first baseman number 12, Josh Naylor.
That'll bring up Josh Naylor. Naylor's just 1 for 10 in the series, but think back to last night, had the base hit to left field. First time up today, he squared one up to center field, so he's starting to find that swing.
I know we weren't comfortable the last at bat of the game last night with him up to the plate. Just held your breath because we've seen him come up big late in games so many times.
Bang, bang play at first to end it.
As Stephen Kwan said to me, he goes, get him out of here before he starts swinging.
That's right.
And Rodriguez has got a nice lead over there.
Had his attention, but the throw was a little off. Manzardo had to reach for it, and that enabled Rodriguez to get in there. If that throw's a little closer to the bag, I think they had him.
Well, Manzo did a good job of securing that ball first. Very close play there at first base. But we just talked about the quick feet, controlling a running game from the Seattle side of things. Gavin also, for a big dude, very quick-footed.
Hard for a big man to be deceptive, but somehow he is.
Somehow he is. And if you talk to him, he'll tell you deception's his game.
What did he tell us, Matty? I'm a big man. They don't think I can move.
Yeah, that's right.
Rodriguez again aggressively off at first. Not running. Up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
This would be a count you may see him move at first base in.
Fouled right back to the netting. Count stays a ball and 2 strikes, and Kevin dialed that one up. That was 100 miles an hour, and it was above the strike zone, and Naylor somehow able to get up to it and spoil it.
I know we've talked a lot about how bad the offenses have been for both teams, but look at some of the pitching we've seen this weekend. This may have been one of the best matchups of pitchers you're going to see, especially starter-wise.
And it doesn't get any easier either.
Well, Trey, you know, we talked about it. You're talking about 2 teams whose starters' ERA are among the very best in baseball.
And you could, I mean, when you see the different arms, the different arm slots, I can't see 2 teams having a better 5 to go to or 6.
Down the right field line, and it stays fair into the corner. Watson picks it up, fires it in. They're going to wave Rodriguez around to throw to the plate, not in time. Josh Naylor with his 2nd hit in the series, a double into the corner. Watson had a little trouble playing the carom, and that allowed Rodriguez to come all the way around.
Well, this was the curveball. He just saw the sweeper, which is a little bit harder, 90 miles an hour before that 85-mile-an-hour breaking ball. And this ball's hit right down the line. But you can see the ball comes off the fence weird. The problem here is there's no communication. Travis Bazzana did not know
That he was coming home.
That he was coming home.
Well, we talked about it last night with Quan being so good with that wall. And I know that's a tough play for Watson, and he'll get better, but that's why Quan is so important how he plays that left field wall.
Rosarena went too far. Strike one.
And those are things that come with experience. The more balls you have down there, different caroms off of it, the more you become accustomed to it. And Julio had no idea that this ball was even fair. And you can see, I was watching the third base coach the entire time waving him.
I think Julio was surprised he sent him.
I agree with you.
Oh, Hedgie, what a job to keep that in front of him. Yeah, it almost looked like Julio lost track of the ball, like he was trying to find it.
This is unbelievable.
This is one of the more difficult plays you'll ever see. At that point, outside your center of gravity right there for Austin Hedges, you're throwing a glove at it and hoping for the best. That's athleticism at its finest.
Did he go? This time he held up, says Bruce Dreckman. It was close. 2-2.
This is a good look at it. I think he could have gone either way. But then again, that's why I'm not an umpire.
That's a 50-50, right?
Yes, it is.
2-2. Rocchio charging, he'll go to first. High throw off the glove of Manzardo, and Naylor will come around and score.
Well, I saw this one right out of his hand. I think he had just a little bit more time there than he thought. Josh Naylor did a good job of kind of trying to be a deception there. But you can see this ball just sails on him. Right off the top of Manzo's glove.
How close was that to hitting Josh? It was really close.
Yeah, it was very close.
Wow. I mean, it was. He almost went down trying to avoid that thing. I think that's why. Yeah, he wasn't thinking about scoring, and then eventually saw the ball get away.
That'll go down as an error. And no RBI there for Randy Rosarena.
But it's now 3-0 Seattle. And Cal Raleigh to the plate.
Well, we saw this yesterday with the Guardians when they were able to score early, how much it relaxed them.
Right.
For the last 13 games, the Mariners are only averaging 2.3 runs. So this is a big score for them early on.
13 consecutive games they have not scored more than 3 runs. Missed outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Cal Raleigh, first time up. Got a bloop single to left because Cooper Ingle still getting used to playing the outfield. He's playing very deep.
Yes, he is. And again, in general, to the opposite side, you want somebody to beat you over your head.
Second challenge of the day by
The pitch is
Seattle.
called a strike. The hitter is challenging.
wins
The call's
this
overturned.
challenge. Seattle is 2 for 2.
The count is 2-1.
Chris, I'm sure it's a comfort thing for Engel, but you don't see many lefties drive it that far.
And that's why, you know, that's what allowed Cal Raleigh to get a base hit the first time. But agreed, I think in general he feels more comfortable coming in on a baseball, and that's the reason, especially with that fence, you know, being so tall. Then you've got, you know, some interesting,
yes, the angles,
little pockets there, some angles. Correct.
There goes the runner, and Raleigh fouls it off. Cooper was out here early doing some work in left field with JT McGuire, the outfield coach, trying to learn the nuances of that wall, seeing the different bounces that come off of that fence, and just getting used to the the depth, like you said. You know, how far do I need to play in, back?
And I think in this situation where he's at right now in the field, anything over your head, your thought process is, I'm turning around and playing this thing off the fence. But again, I think it's more of a comfort thing for Cooper Engel, being able to come in on a ball a little bit easier than going back and just not knowing those little, you know, angles and stuff off that fence quite yet. And let's not forget, he's very new to the outfield in general in pro ball.
Fouled back out of play.
Can I ask you something real quick, Chris? I've been mocked a little bit for talking about what that tournament before the season can do to pitchers. You really feel like Cal Raleigh not playing as much over Will Smith kind of mess with his timing a little bit?
I do think that, yeah. I mean, then you go back to spring training, and by the time you're back, you're trying to catch up as much as you can.
He's challenging again. Second time in the at-bat.
The pitcher's called a strike. The hitter's challenging.
I think he's on it.
The call's overturned. It is ball 4.
And this inning is getting longer and longer for Gavin Williams. His pitch count just over 60 now.
Batting for the Mariners, second baseman number 2, Cole Young.
Now 2 on, still only 1 out.
You can see there the pitches by inning continuing to climb. 28, not the end of this thing.
Need a double play.
Cole Young fly to center first time up. Young batting .266 in the month of June. Shown a little pop with a couple of doubles, 3 homers.
That was a good fastball right there, though. Down, got on top of that boy and behind it. It's a fastball lane that's really difficult to hit out of Gavin's arm slot.
Up the middle, Lozana cuts it off, goes to Rocchio for 1. He dropped the ball on the transfer, so they get the out at second. But unable to turn the double play, and now there are 2 down.
I'm not sure they would have been able to turn 2 to begin with. It would have been very close. But Lozana with a good feed there. Rocchio just kind of losing that ball in the transfer, and you can see Gavin knew he made a pitch right there that he felt like he'd possibly get out of this inning with. Now he's going to have to continue to bear down.
Yeah, when you've made 30 pitches in an inning, you want to get out of here quickly. Curveball in there for a strike. The 0-1 checked. He went too far. 0-2.
Well, this is going to be a good look. I don't think he came that close, but again, that's why I'm not an umpire.
If that was a strike, then certainly the one to Rosarena should have been a strike. Or was it Rodriguez?
Or Rosarena.
Yeah. Well, it's been a 17-minute half inning for Gavin Williams. And it will continue. Matt Festa has begun to get loose in the Cleveland bullpen.
That's strictly because of the pitch count this inning.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out.
He's got time.
Hedges throws to first, and that will end the inning. But the Mariners strike for 2 here in the third, and they lead it 3-0.
Time.
Cleveland Guardians Baseball is presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Cleveland Guardians.
Well, the Guardians have faced some interesting arm angles so far in this series.
Well, we've been talking about east to west, or side to side. The two, Luis Castillo, Emerson Hancock, on the outside and inside of this screen, have an extremely low arm slot. So those balls are a little bit more east to west, whereas Logan Gilbert a little more top to bottom. And you can see how that arm angle plays into that too in your approach at the plate.
So you were saying before too, as a hitter, especially with a guy like Emerson Hancock, instead of a hitter maybe going up and looking top of the zone, bottom of the zone, you're kind of cutting that plate in half. You're either going to look in or you're going to look away.
You're going to look away and know that that ball is going to stay on the same plane. There's going to be no depth, so I don't have to worry about my barrel angle manipulating it. I can stay flat, and now I can stay through the zone, or I can pull the baseball, depending on which half of the plate, you know, that I'm looking for. If I do want to pull the ball, I just know that I have to get that thing out in front just a hair. But like we saw Khalil Watson do his first at bat, staying with that ball and just flat bat path and going with it.
Stephen Kwan fouls it off to the left.
Now, Chris, I want to go back to the angles, and you and I started discussing this because I know I've heard teams talk about doing this with their relievers, having as many different arm angles as they can so it gives different looks to hitters. The Mariners have done this with their starting pitching, and almost all 6 of their starters all are from different angles. When you were working with the Dodgers.
An error by Young allows Stephen Kwan to reach. Let's see if that gives the Guardians a little spark here in the bottom half of inning number 3.
When you were working with the Dodgers, how important was it to find pitchers that had all these different angles so you could confuse hitters the way that this team does?
It gives you a very unique perspective as a manager, right? Because now you start to pair up unique arm angles with swing planes and types of balls that certain, opposing players can hit. So you start to see teams like, the Dodgers kind of being at the forefront of that. But the Mariners this year, the Toronto Blue Jays from their bullpen have done the exact same thing. Tampa has been a team that's done this. But now you're just trying to find different types of stuff to match up with certain swing planes that you may be facing, or certain swing planes in your division in particular.
So it's not about righty-lefty anymore. It's almost more about...
That's true, yes. I mean, righty-lefty certainly still plays into it, but you may see certain right-handers face left-handed batters just because of the stuff that comes out of their hand and how it plays to that particular swing plane.
You showed us this last year when we were in Miami, or 2 years ago when we were in Miami. And there was a pitcher and you said, this guy's perfect for Arias, and Arias went out and hit a home run that day.
Travis Bazzana looks at a ball in the dirt. It's 2-1. Bazzana walked his first time up. Had 2 hits yesterday.
I mean, even from, we talked about this from the pitching perspective, but from a lineup perspective, if you're facing a certain type of pitcher and you have an offensive player on your roster that, this type of swing plane or the swing that he has or possesses matches up really well with this pitcher, you may see a guy in the lineup that you weren't necessarily expecting to be.
Bazzana went fishing, could not dig out that sweeper. 4th strikeout for Hancock. 1 down here in the 3rd.
Look at how low this is. 12-degree arm angle. But again, that ball had a little bit more depth, but gravity had a lot to do with that. And again, the location of him trying to execute that pitch but very, very hard from that arm angle to get something to go straight down.
Chase DeLauder called out on strikes his first time up. His first game back after missing 11 games. Hoping to give this lineup a spark. Outside, 2-0.
Well, I think they saw the damage he did against them the first series of the year. He hasn't seen anything straight yet. But again, this is a guy, Chase DeLauder, with a very flat swing plane. That's why you're seeing Hancock utilize.
Right center field, fighting the sun, Victor Robles coming in, and the right fielder has it. 2 down.
Well, the wind affected that one.
And a word now from Cleveland Clinic.
When you make complexities your specialties, you redefine what's possible. For every care in the world, Cleveland Clinic.
Now Kyle Manzardo called out on strikes his first time up. There goes the runner, and it's fouled by the batter Manzardo. So Kwan will retreat back to first.
I think that's a good sign, seeing Stephen Kwan on the move. Hasn't attempted a ton of stolen bases this year. Okay, when he's going right and as the leadoff hitter, he has to cause havoc on the base pass.
Fouled back. No balls, 2 strikes for Manzo. Tell you what, if Manzardo could pull one down the right field line, Juan could score from first, because Victor Robles is at least 100 feet off the line in right.
My guess, just based off of how they've pitched Manzardo so far this series, he's going to see a lot of 2-seamers away, maybe that backdoor cutter, Cooper Ingersoll. But the 4-seam, 2-seam in play right here.
Popped up, shallow right. Going to be a tough play, and the shortstop, Emerson, goes out to grab it to retire the side. Through 3, it's Seattle 3, Cleveland nothing.
Two legends.
Guardians TV is presented by Progressive. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon in downtown Cleveland. Game time temperature right around 80 degrees. Breeze has picked up a little bit, blowing in, knocking the ball down in right center field. Mitch Garver will lead off for Seattle here in the 4th. Here's an interesting note. Don't know what to make of this necessarily, but Gavin Williams has thrown 3 pitches today at 100 miles an hour. And entering today, he'd only thrown 3 in his career at 100 miles an hour.
That is quite interesting. Again, you are at the point of the season where
you're feeling
sometimes guys go through maybe a little bit of a lull, yeah. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily the dog days yet, but
pitchers don't always have their best stuff every time out, and there's ebbs and flows to it.
Certainly. You know, even aces, you feel like you make 30 starts a year. You probably have 10 with your A stuff, 10 with your B stuff, and 10 with your C stuff.
Swing and a miss, and down goes Mitch Garver. 5th strikeout for Gavin, 1 down in the 4th.
Stepping to the plate for Seattle.
Injury report brought to you by the injury attorneys at Elk and Elk. Chris Bassett of the Orioles on the injured list with a back injury, and Cole Reagan's undergoing surgery on his left elbow for Kansas City. It has been a tough go for Matt Quatrero And the Royals entered play today at 34-50 on the season.
Well, you're going to certainly start seeing the Sharks swirling in regards to trade candidates from Kansas City.
Oh, a diving stop by Manzardo. Gets up, throws behind Gavin Williams. And beating the play at first is Victor Robles for an infield single.
Well, Manzo did a good job to knock this ball down. Showing a little bit of range here. As you can see, good first step. Great job at knocking it down, getting up. Now trying to lead is the key there. And again, thinking like a quarterback in that particular scenario. Just try to stay on top and throw that ball right to the bag as Gavin is going directly to that one spot.
Top of the order, J.P. Crawford, 1 for 2 today. In the hole, base hit left field for J.P. Crawford, his second hit of the afternoon. Robles stops at second. Well, you talked about the Sharks circling potentially in Kansas City. Their run differential is -71 entering play today. Only the Colorado Rockies have a larger negative run differential.
And they're scoring runs.
That's hard to believe.
You guys talked about Gavin hitting 103 times today, and sometimes I know when we talk to Rick, when he's throwing his hardest, he's not the best. He doesn't have that natural movement on it. You know, when he's at 96, 97, maybe it's a little bit better. Maybe he's almost too loose. I hate to say it that way, but sometimes when he's throwing harder, it doesn't mean it's better, I guess is the way I should say it.
Yeah, you almost throw through the movement when you're expecting a ball to do a certain thing or move a certain direction, and you overthrow it. And again, it's a bad sign in the sense that from how we're talking about, the standpoint we're talking about it, but it also is a little bit of a positive. You can tell he's feeling pretty good. I mean, when things sync up, 100, it's hard to beat.
Tried to hold up, he went too far, says Bruce Dreckman. And the count 1-2 on Julio Rodriguez. Throw back to second. If a guy is throwing with a little more velo than normal, doesn't have to be a lot, but a little more. We're talking about arm speed, a little more arm speed. Can that affect or impact the off-speed pitches?
1,000%. Again, we talk, throwing through a fastball like a two-seamer. Some of Gavin's hardest balls.
Swing and a miss. Rodriguez strikes out, and a stolen base for Robles. As he gets into third, there are 2 down.
Tough play there for Austin Hedges on that breaking ball too. It's a tough ball to catch and get to third base on because that ball is going far and away from you. And now you've got to at least keep your eye open on J.P. Crawford at first base. But with Josh Naylor up, the lefty, you must wonder if he may not stay put.
In the dirt, and that was an incredible backhanded pick by Hedges. That ball looked like it was ticketed for the backstop, and somehow he just picked it out of the dirt.
That pitch right there goes exactly with what you were just explaining. When your arm feels that good and the arm speed is that good, you can almost overcook breaking balls more than your normal. And I think that was a situation right there. Yes, they wanted to go down and in towards the back foot.
High pop, left field, Cooper Engel makes the catch, and the side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We head to the bottom of the 4th, 3-0 Seattle. Hyundai in the driver's seat, Khalil Watson. A base hit his first time up through the left side of the infield. 8 hits on the year. 6 of the 8 have knocked in runs.
Talk about being clutch. For a young man in his first experience at this level, it took a few games to get going, but boy, the potential this young man possesses. I've heard Byron Buxton is a good comp for him, and boy, would that be awesome to see.
He just needed to get outside, Chris. That's what he told us when after we got out of the domes. He goes, I just want to be outside. I need to get outside.
Said he did fresh air.
I don't like working indoors either.
Said he couldn't pick up the spin when he was inside Milwaukee as well as Houston.
That makes sense.
Now, in between innings, Stephen Vogt doesn't do this a lot, but he did it just now. He went up and down the dugout. He kind of said, let's go. Wake up, let's go. It's time to get going, guys. He doesn't do it often, but it was said with a purpose.
He sees what we're seeing, and that's, you know, that's not to say this in the wrong way, but there's a little bit of lackadaisicalness going on out there.
Yes.
Fundamentals. That's something that this group has been built on, is dominating the fundamentals, and you can see a little laziness in that.
On through the left side of the infield, a diving stop by Colt Emerson, but Khalil beats it out for his second hit of the afternoon. He has both Cleveland hits.
He's wearing that hole out, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And I'll tell you what, that's the reason Colt Emerson was a first-round draft pick. That's a heck of a play there to get up and make a good, strong throw. But give Khalil a lot of credit. He was sniffing that right out of the batter's box. And that's what a little speed can do for you.
Now Brian Rocchio, he followed Khalil Watson's leadoff hit in the second inning with a walk. Takes up high, ball one. Guardians then executed a double steal. They had second and third in the second inning with nobody out and did not score. On a play to the left, 1-1. Rocchio has hit in each of his last 3 ball games, including a double and a run batted in the series. One ball, 2 strikes.
This may be, again, breaking ball type count. You may see Khalil Watson on the move here in the next pitch or two. Especially now that that's the second disengagement. So if Hancock comes over again, he has to pick Khalil Watson off. Maybe see him just get a little bit extra over there at first base.
Here he goes. Rocchio, a chopper to first. Naylor's only play is back to the first. And all the way to third goes Khalil Watson. And they call him out. Guardians are checking to see if they will challenge the call. And he is out. Wow, what a play. A great throw by Josh Naylor.
Well, I think this is the right decision here for Khalil Watson. You're taught as the pitcher, as soon as you cover first base there, the play is not over. And this is a great throw and an even better tag. Wow. Man, that is close. That would have been really difficult, in my opinion, to overturn as it is. But again, I do not fault Khalil Watson right there. I think that's absolutely the right base running play. You just got to give the Mariners a little credit.
Yeah, I said Josh Naylor. It was the pitcher Hancock, and he made a perfect throw across the diamond.
But again, it wasn't an initial step on the bag, turn around and look for the play. He paused, realized, oh no, he's going, and then had to make a throw. So you can see he makes sure he touches the base. He looks in and then uh-oh. And then there goes that two-seamer over to third base.
Yeah, right. When was the last time you saw a 3-1-5 double play?
I've never written that down.
I literally did not write anything down because I wanted to see what you wrote down.
I've never written that down. I was like 3-1-5? But he didn't run through the bag either. He played that perfectly.
He did. Well, you're taught as a pitcher with a runner on the move in particular, but more importantly, a runner on base, to not run through the bag, because now you have to slow yourself down in that situation. And again, the feed by Josh Naylor was what allowed that to set itself up. Perfect feed. Emerson Hancock being able to grab that ball, touch the base, and then immediately turn his head.
Two to Cooper. Engel misses outside. Full count. And the payoff pitch is low, ball 4, and that's the second walk in the series.
The pitcher's called a ball, the catcher's challenging.
Well, maybe. Hold on. We've got another challenge. The 4th of the game for Seattle. They haven't been wrong yet, and they're still not
Call's
wrong.
overturned. It is strike 3.
They are 4 for 4 on challenges.
The Guards face the White Sox Friday, and fans can enjoy Sugardale Dollar Dogs, a $2 Miller Lite pregame, and fireworks presented by Wayside Furniture. Plus, 10,000 fans will receive a t-shirt thanks to Phantom Fireworks. Get your tickets today at CLEGuardians.com.
Randy Arozarena fouls the first pitch off of this 5th inning. Seattle leading it 3-0. And Arozarena ducks out of the way. Interesting to note that the 4 ABS challenges by the Mariners today, all executed by their catchers.
Yeah.
Garver twice from behind the plate, and the other 2 by Cal Raleigh in the same at bat. Arozarena was getting out of the way of that throw. He saw Manzardo creeping up the line. He said, I'm not running into him. 1 down.
Now batting for the Mariners.
Well, that's a nice first out there for Gavin. 14 of Seattle's 22 now plate appearances have come with runners on base.
Here is Cal Raleigh. He worked those 2 challenges for a walk his last time up.
And then he ran so hard he blew through his pants.
That's a gaping hole.
That's a big dumper doing a bit of damage there.
It's better there than other places.
Amen to that.
I don't think a seamstress is going to be able to fix that one.
These pants,
That's a patch right there.
That's a one and done. He'll have some new ones when they get home. You know, they got to play tomorrow. They're flying home to Seattle, and they're going to play tomorrow and Tuesday, but they're off Wednesday because the World Cup is being played out there. So they're going to get a odd schedule this week where they're going to be off. How many times do you see a Major League team off on a Wednesday?
I remember when I was, this was a while ago, maybe 15 years ago, we had a random, it was like a Thursday and Friday off for some reason, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but you talk about throwing off your schedule.
Yeah. The 1-2. The only other time I can think where you might be off on a Wednesday is in the days of the old 2-game series.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you always get that Friday off sometimes when you start the season on a Thursday, occasionally.
The 2-2 to Cal Raleigh is outside, full count.
But I know some of their players, Chris, weren't happy that they're going to fly home from here and play tomorrow with the time change. But Got to deal with the schedule how they make it.
Yeah, you certainly do. And again, no team has to log more travel miles than the Seattle Mariners.
And a walk. Second issued to Cal Raleigh. Third for Gavin Williams today. And a word now from Bet365.
Did you win?
Let's just say the next round of omelets is on me, fellas.
Bet $10, get $200 in bonus bets.
Cole Young 0 for 2. Gavin Williams has not gone 6 innings in a start since May 27th against Washington. Unless the next pitch is an inning-ending double play, it's highly unlikely that he'll get through 6 here today. This is probably 5, and that'll be it for Gavin.
Well, this is now tied at least 5 1/3 for Gavin's longest start in the month of June. His last start, June 3rd in New York, went 5 1/3 innings.
There are a lot of things in this game that don't make sense. And this guy not being able to go 6 innings at least one time in the month of June is one of them.
With this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And again, give him credit today. There have been some defensive lapses out there.
Manzardo will scoop it 8 times and makes the tag on Young for out number 2. Raleigh moves into scoring position.
Well, that ultimately was a really good decision by Kyle Manzardo. Was not going to have a play here at second base. Did a great job of playing through that baseball. Puts the ball back in his glove. And the big man got vertical right there. Or horizontal, whatever way you want to describe it.
There's a little vert.
There was a little vert.
There's Colt Emerson. 0 for 2. Struck out his last time up. And a first pitch curveball in for strike 1. Back-to-back curveballs as the big rig ahead 0-2.
Set up for that fastball at the top here if they want to go to it.
Back to the curveball and it missed. Raleigh at second base with 2 down. This will be the 100th pitch of the game for Gavin Williams.
I like that pitch right there. It just was a hair lower than I think Gavin wanted it to be. We talked about this last night. Colt Emerson. There's kind of a line of demarcation there. If you're above that line, you're in a great spot, especially an advantage count like this.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, this is, that time where Gavin's got to understand, I've got a challenge right here. And most likely his last pitch of the game. It's an opportunity to get yourself through 6 innings, quality start through 5 innings.
Right field, moving over, Khalil Watson makes the catch. 5 innings of work for Gavin Williams. Seattle leads it 3-0. Bottom half of the 5th inning brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ram dealers. Gabriel Arias to lead it off for Cleveland. Big bouncer in the hole. Long throw for Emerson. And Arias beats it out for an infield single. 3rd hit of the game for Cleveland. 2 of them infield hits to Emerson. They've really tested him.
Yes, they certainly have. Again, this is a nice play, knowing he has to get rid of that ball quickly. Just wasn't able to get the throw on line, and much behind it, having to spin and turn like that.
Austin Hedges fly to left his first time up. Finds the outside corner. 0-2.
Pretty darn good pitch right there.
That's pretty close to perfect.
Yes, it is. Not much going to happen on a pitch in that location. Good
Slows it
there.
down, misses low. 1-2.
I think he might have dropped down even more on that pitch.
This is going to bloop into center field for a base hit. So Hedges follows Arias, and now the Guardians have their first 2 aboard in the 5th with Stephen Kwan coming up.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. That's a 2-seamer that kind of stayed in the inner 3rd, and Austin Hedges did a great job of fighting this one off. Now you're sitting here, Stephen Kwan, potential bunt situation.
Nothing wrong with getting jammed once in a while, fighting it off.
They say good hitters get jammed.
They say that. Now,
they say that.
I know you're down 3, and you talked early in this series about playing guards ball, and you usually don't want to bunt in this situation, but you don't have the fleetest of foot on the base paths.
No.
So,
no.
You're okay?
No.
Good answer. You had your answer. Chris, don't say anything. He gave a double no. I'm joking. You got to do your thing.
I say differently.
Okay.
I say even if you can find a way to scratch one across here.
Oh, man, he almost got plunked.
I'm in that. I'm kind of thinking the way you are. You just want to get somebody.
You want to create something. Again, Stephen Kwan being a magician there. It's always fun when you square around a bunt and something's coming right at you.
He gets the bunt down. Hancock, bare hand grab, goes to first, and he doesn't. Oh, they call him out. It was very close. They may challenge this one. I'm surprised he didn't go to 3rd once he barehanded it.
Something might have happened too to Hancock as well.
Hancock didn't look good after that throw.
He didn't.
He jumped around a little bit and kind of. We'll see.
Might have been a groin or something. It looked like he was.
Or readjusting.
Yeah, well, that happens too. But this is a really good bunt.
The I'll call at first base.
I don't know. It might have been a groin. This is going to be close regardless.
He didn't look comfortable after he did.
No, he did not.
Oh,
I think he's
safe.
I don't think
get overturned.
You think it's too close?
No, I think it's going to get overturned.
Okay.
Yeah, I think his foot gets down.
I
right
do too,
there. I
actually. I think his foot's on the bag there.
Great job, guys.
Excellent job.
Yeah,
I think he's safe.
That's perfect right there. There you go. Mark Wagner, the crew chief.
After the review, the call in the field is overturned. The runner is safe. Cleveland will retain their challenge.
Like I said, the bunt's the smart play there.
I told you. I mean, hey. You called it.
And they're checking,
you called it.
And they're checking They're checking the pitcher out as well.
And they should. You know, I think what happened was it might have been a groin or a hamstring, something like that, because he did kind of take an extra little shuffle or a pause to reset, you know, just to set his momentum going towards first base.
He says he's okay.
Now I say we bunt again, make him field another one. But look at that extra little pause, that little shuffle, and you could tell he just
he
might have popped his hip or something like that.
Well, he had to stick that foot in the ground.
He did. He had to put his foot in the ground, that right leg. And he might be more upset that he didn't spin and make that throw to begin with.
Well, here's your opportunity. Bases loaded, nobody out. Travis Pizzana coming up. He walked in the first, struck out in the third. This Sunday afternoon crowd hasn't had much to be excited about until now.
Well, this goes back to our Toyota keys to the game. Be pesky.
High, ball one. Mariners get the bullpen busy, given the potential that Hancock might not be feeling his best. Gabe Spire, left-hander, getting loose. Center field, going back Rodriguez. It's going to work. Tagging up to third is Arias. He'll come home. The other runners hold, and the Guardians get on the board. It's now 3-1. Pizzana with RBI number 25.
That's Guards ball at its finest right there. That's all about being pesky. Create havoc on the base pass, finding a way to string together a few knocks in a row. And a nice, easy sac fly. Now the man, the myth, the legend himself, Chase DeLauder, with an opportunity to get us right back in this baseball game.
Fly to right his last time up. Chase back in the lineup after missing 11 games. Takes a low breaking ball. 1-0. Right field. And an easy catch for Robles. 2 down. And that'll leave it up to Kyle Manzardo to try to scratch out something more here in this 5th inning. It started so promising. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Well, they've pitched Kyle tough this series so far, but you'd love to see him try to utilize that 6-hole. See Colt Emerson playing up the middle right behind Austin Hedges.
Missed outside, ball one.
They throw you something soft in the zone. You talked about it earlier, Matt. You hear Rick say it all the time. You react to the ball inside, but if your eyes are out over the plate.
Sends one high in the air, right center. Robles gives way to Rodriguez, and the inning is over. They get one. After 5, they trail by 2. Cleveland Guardians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture and Mattress. Lazy Boy recliner starting at $395 at Levin. And by Elk and Out. For a team of injury lawyers dedicated to every client every day, call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Sean Armstrong is the new pitcher for Cleveland. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen made after Gavin Williams went 5 innings. 2 earned runs on 6 hits, walked 3, struck out 6. Mitch Garver will lead it off for Seattle. Garver spent his first 5 years in the American League Central Division. But it's been a while since he's faced any of these pitchers on a regular basis. He chases after an off-speed pitch that was out of the strike zone. for strike one. You think about Mitch Garver. When the Texas Rangers won it back in 23, he had a great year. He hit 270, 19 home runs, 50 runs batted in for the Rangers. Since then, Chris, this is how fleeting success can be in the big leagues. Since then, he's hit 160.
Yeah, the last few years have not been kind to Mitch. Yeah, this young man had a lot of promise, came up in the Minnesota Twins organization, was with me in 2017 as a young player, mostly a DH, occasional catching.
So you taught him everything he knows.
Behind the plate, not offensively, though.
Well, think about, Matt, you make a great point. Think about the catcher he was with Texas. Jonah Heim was one of the RBI machines back then, and he hasn't really been the same since either.
They sold out for a World Series, and it worked.
Last time we saw Jonah Heim, he was Oakland.
He's in Sacramento now. Excuse me. He was in Atlanta before that, though.
If he's in Oakland, he's lonely.
No comment.
Swung out and missed. Armstrong strikes him out, 1 down. The Home Depot working on a win.
Now batting for Seattle, right fielder number 10, Victor Robles.
When it comes to close games, these two teams know all about it. Guardians are 13-14 in games decided by 1 run.
Well, both these teams with fantastic pitching staffs.
Seattle's 12-14 in 1-run games. Obviously, it's a 2-run affair at the moment, but that could change.
Well, with Seattle not scoring more than 3 runs in 14 consecutive games, let's hope 14 is today. Although there's still a little work to do.
They have never gone 14 games in a row. Bunt to third. Arias, bare hand grab, throw it up first. It's a bang play. The call is safe. And we'll see how close it is. Is it worth the challenge?
I certainly think it is.
I don't know.
God, I thought he was out off the bat, but
no challenge. It'll be an infield hit for Robles on the bunt.
Now batting for Seattle,
this, regardless, is a great play here by Gabby Arias. The bare hand spin and throw. Great strong throw there. You can see just barely.
J.P. Crawford takes a strike. Crawford has 2 hits today. Back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes.
Defense over here.
I'll tell you what.
It's called living good over here.
I'm into that. I saw your reaction. You were on it.
Got no choice. It's liver
die
over here.
Threw it by him. Second strikeout for Armstrong. 2 down in the inning.
This is a good elevated fastball here after a few different sweepers and cutters. See him get underneath that ball just high enough. Perfect execution.
Crawford.
Julio Rodriguez 0 for 2.
Crawford was so mad he went to the other exit. The dugout down there.
Off to the right, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You love seeing that. That's a misexecution. The aggressiveness there of the hitter puts you in a good spot. Now you're back to an advantage count.
You know, I was thinking about Victor Robles down there at first base. Came up with Washington, won the World Series with the Nats back in 2019. He had 17 home runs that year. In his other 9 years combined, he's hit 19 home runs. Wow. There goes Robles. Pitch is low, and Austin Hedges could not get the ball in his bare hand to make a throw. 4th steal on the year for Robles. Actually, a 5th steal. He has stolen 2 on the day.
Well, Hedgie couldn't quite get this ball out of the pocket of his glove there. You can see the transfer. Not sure he has an opportunity there.
Robles steals 3rd, standing up. So a 3-steal day for Robles. There are 2 down. And the payoff pitch to Rodriguez. It gets by Armstrong. Bazzano will have to hurry, and the Mariners get another run. It's now 4-1, and that ends Seattle's streak of 13 consecutive games, scoring only 3 or less.
Oh, you hear us talk about it all the time. It's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. You can see Travis having to come a long way for that baseball, cued off the end of the bat.
Stephen Moak will go to the bullpen. Josh Naylor coming up. He wants the left-hander, and we'll be right back. Lee Murphy checking out the ball game today on a beautiful afternoon.
Gorgeous afternoon.
Taking a break from their summer leagues.
That's right. Come watch some more baseball. Poor Leah.
Tim Herron on for the 36th time this year. He's got Josh Naylor at the plate with a runner at first and 2 down, and the Mariners now leading it 4-1. Seattle ending their streak of 13 consecutive games in which they had not scored more than 3 runs. There goes Rodriguez. Throw by Hedges. Not in time. Ball got away from Rocchio. 12th stolen base on the year for Rodriguez, and the 3rd stolen base of the inning for Seattle.
Well, this is going off first movement with a lefty.
Well, you know there's some frustration over here because 90 feet is a big deal.
Yes, it is.
Stephen Vogt and his coaching staff, and they're not happy that the Mariners basically are running wild this inning.
That hit Josh Naylor, and he'll go down to first.
There's some over here saying he turned into
Yeah,
it.
he did.
He didn't move out of the way.
He certainly made an effort to stick his elbow out at. Look at that.
I mean,
it's playing the game.
That's him. I know. That's what he does.
2 on, 2 out. Randy Arozarena.
Now, Stephen Kwan made a good point about playing Josh. He goes, don't get him going because he can get under your skin.
Quick.
That's what he wants to do. And right now you got guys yelling at him. It was a breaking ball as he's smiling back.
Arias backs up. Long throw across. Dug out by Manzardo. That'll retire the side. Seattle tacks one on. They lead 4-1.
An MLB fan is seeing it all. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile should be on your bucket list. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Head to MLB.com/journey to 30 sweeps.
Khalil Watson checks his swing, and it fouls right back to the netting. Khalil 2 for 2. 2 singles on the day. A stolen base. Now a 6-game hitting streak for Watson. Guardians had 2 golden opportunities to make some noise today. They had second and third, nobody out in the second inning, and did not score. Bases loaded, nobody out in the 5th, and managed just 1 run. They also hit into a very rare 3-1-5 double play. Maybe not as rare as you might think. It happened 4 years ago. Ooh. Turned by the Giants defense. J.T. Snow to Livan Hernandez. David, but that can't be 2022. It's got to be longer than that.
Maybe 2002.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe 2002. J.T. Snow to Livan Hernandez to David Bell. The Mariners last turned to 3-1-5 double play in 1989. It was Alvin Davis, first baseman, to the pitcher Steve Trout to Jim Presley. Cleveland, as far as we can tell, at least in the last 100 years, has never hit into a 3-1-5 double play before today.
I was going to say, J.T. Snow, didn't he pick up Dusty Baker's son at home plate?
He did.
And Dusty Baker's son's at AAA right now, so he couldn't have been 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's what you call a typo.
It happens.
Brian Rocchio has walked, and then he had the misfortune of hitting into that 3-1-5 double play.
Well, he's in the history books.
Well, and as you pointed out, you know, in that instance, there's no pointing the finger. Khalil Watson was trying to make an aggressive play. It took a perfect throw to get him. And I understand that, you know, when you're trailing, you don't want to run into outs, but I thought that was the right time to roll the
100%.
dice.
I think it's completely acceptable in that situation. And again, if that's a baseball play. You're being smart as a base runner. You're anticipating. He was looking, watching the game develop, and made that decision on his own. And again, like you said, it took a absolutely perfect throw to get him out at third base.
Good at bat, because Rocchio had a bad swing for strike 2.
First 2 were not great.
But this has been a part of his game where he's maturing and growing up in front of us. We can overcome that.
Brian Rocchio with a fly ball to center field. Julio Rodriguez makes the catch, 2 down.
You know, Matt, Chris, this has been one of those weekends for Andy McKay, who's the field coordinator for the Guardians, where it's been a little different for him because, you know, this is the first time he's been back in the dugout in a long time. For the last few years, he's been running kind of the minor leagues for the Seattle Mariners, and a lot of these young players we've talked about over the weekend, he helped draft, he helped get them through their system. So he's, you know, he knows these guys. He knows what they felt like when they were drafting some of these guys. So his heart has been in it on both sides. He told me, he's like, it's been awesome to see all these guys and see what they've become, but I'm kind of glad this is all going to be over with after today.
Yeah.
Because you're pulling for all of them.
The 0-1 to Engel. I'm glad you brought that up, Andre, because Seattle, you know, there for a while people looked at Seattle as a team that, you know, had maybe a little bit of a bigger payroll, and yet they've done a heck of a job drafting and developing.
And before he was there, before he started doing that, they had one of the worst farm systems in baseball. Now they're looked at as having one of the best, and they've got a couple pitchers down in Double-A and Triple-A. I know, Chris, you know about them. There's a chance they may take 2 of their starters. They're so good they may put them in the bullpen in the stretch run, or try to trade one of those 6 starters, because that's how good their depth is in pitching right now.
Well, this young man on the mound, Andy had a hand in developing. Guy we saw last night, he had a hand in developing. I mean, I'm sure it is bittersweet, and I know the feel of what it's like to play against your former team, and it's great to see guys and you wish them well, but you wish them even more well when they're not playing against you.
And Cooper Engel is aboard on ball 4. That thing ricocheted all the way over in front of the Seattle dugout.
I was going to say the ball boy was going out to get it.
It's a live
I
ball
don't recommend
still,
that.
right.
It's a live ball.
Garver didn't know where it was at.
Is that a case where? Oh no, he just whiffed on it. Yeah.
Talk about late movement.
Boy, I'll say that was more of something that you almost think. I know PitchCom's involved now, but was the wrong pitch thrown?
Well, after 98 pitches, Dan Wilson does not appear that he's going to give Hancock any more runway to get through this 6th inning. So his day comes to an end with 2 outs and a runner aboard. We'll be right back.
Celebrate Independence Day here at the ballpark when the Guards take on the White Sox. 15,000 fans will receive a patriotic cap courtesy of Car Parts Warehouse. And all the fans can enjoy a $2 Miller Lite pregame and postgame fireworks show presented by Nestle. Get your tickets at cleguardians.com.
Hitting for Cleveland, number 10.
The new pitcher for Seattle, Edward Bizzardo. 39th appearance on the year and a sparkling ERA of just 1.98. He'll be facing a pinch hitter, Daniel Schneemann. Schneemann 2 for 6 as a pinch hitter. And that's high, ball 1.
Well, the numbers against Bizzardo from right-handed to left-handed perspective are pretty stark difference. Lefties handle him significantly better. But he's really just a 2-pitch mix. It's sinker sweeper.
Schneemann rocks one to right field. That gets down and goes to the wall. Racing to third is Cooper Engel. He'll stop there. It's a double for Schneemann with 2 out here in the 6th inning, and the Guardians have an opportunity now with 2 down to cut into this Mariner lead. Our Chevy drive of the game, his 3rd pinch hit in 7 tries.
Well, he got himself into a great count. First 2 pitches were sweepers on the outer part of the plate. Bizzardo, not wanting to walk him, has to come into the nitro zone. And Daniel Schneemann's there waiting.
And now another pinch hitter, Patrick Bailey. As you mentioned, Chris, that you want the left-handed hitters against Bizzardo. The only 2 right-handed bats in the lineup today were the 8th and 9 hitters for Cleveland, Arias and Hedges. And Stephen Vogt taking a shot here in the 6th inning. Bailey pulls it fouled on the right side.
Well, sometimes the biggest situation of the game may not necessarily be late in the ball game. It could be right now. You don't take your shot with the lefties here, that situation may not present itself later on in the game.
Bailey's first pinch hit appearance. Good breaking ball down and in. It's 1-2.
Mentioned that sweeper. It's been a really good pitch for him. It's been his best missed pitch. Again, if you're Patrick Bailey here, you've got to look up in the strike zone. Good job right there. Trying to sneak a fastball by him. But again, by looking up, looking out over the plate, that way you can react into that sweeper, but allowing you to kind of at least fight off that sinker up and away.
Missed outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bailey 0 for his last 9, but 10 hits overall in his last 12 games.
He's still been hitting the ball hard. Chicago, we got robbed of a few hits to third base. He hit the ball really hard in an overshift.
2-2 outside. Full count. Stephen Kwan would be next. Down 4-1 in the 6th. And Bailey digs in for the payoff pitch from Edward Bazardo. And he struck him out to end the inning. 6 complete, 4-1 Seattle.
The Texas Rangers will be here for a 3-game series tomorrow through Wednesday. Pick up a district ticket presented by Miller Lite for just $20 and watch the games from the corner bar or the terrace hall. And the ticket includes your first drink. Get yours at cleguardians.com.
Cal Raleigh leads off the 7th inning for Seattle and swings through a Tim Herron pitch for strike 1. Raleigh singled and scored in the 2nd. He has walked twice since then. Daniel Schneemann takes over at 3rd after pinch hitting for Arias, and Bailey taking over the catching duties. Ground ball in the hole, backhanded by Rocchio. Sets and throws. Got him. And a word now from Levin Furniture and Mattress.
Sink into unbeatable comfort with Lazy Boy recliners, starting at just $395. For an incredible selection of Lazy Boy, shop Levin.
Cole Young hitless in 3 trips today, 2 for 11, as you see there in the series. You know, you think about the early part of this game. Mariners scored first in the 2nd on a 2-out opposite field single by Mitch Garver. Cal Raleigh scoring just ahead of the throw from right field by Khalil Watson. Then in the 3rd inning, Josh Naylor doubled into the right field corner, and Julio Rodriguez beat the relay throw, scoring from first base. That's just fouled on the right field line. He hit it a long way, and it was staying true, but it was fouled the whole way. Josh Naylor scored their 3rd run that same inning when Brian Rocchio airmailed the throw to first base.
When you think about the few mishaps defensively today for the Guardians.
Well, and then their last run was the ground ball. Just it got by the pitcher, and it was just weakly hit.
Placed.
Bazzana got to it, but he couldn't make a play on it, and that enabled them to score their 4th run. Meanwhile, Cleveland has had all kind of opportunities, starving for the clutch hit. They just have not been able to deliver. Center field, great jump by Kwan. Can't get to it though. He had to pull up at the last moment. He had a beat on it.
Yes, he did.
Well, here's our progressive defensive play of the game. Turned in by the fans. Oh, just
Not
leaning
bad.
out.
Barehanded
Left
too,
hand.
huh?
Left hand.
Does that every Sunday.
Wow.
He was cool and relaxed with it. Look at that.
I know some adult softball leagues that might want to employ that young man.
You know, you guys are talking about how Seattle's scored today and how the Guardians haven't. Chris, it goes back to what you talked about on Friday night with how both teams have not been scoring. You got to do the little things. Seattle's run the bases well. They've played better guards ball than the guards today, to be completely honest.
It's a great point. You know, they've put pressure.
Stolen bases.
Stolen bases, being aggressive. rounding bases, taking the extra base. Something we are very used to seeing the Guardians do.
That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, Andre, you talked about Vody going in and out of the dugout, trying to rally the troops a little bit. I think he can kind of see, you know, that can weigh on you a lot. For so long, you're trying to do something so much extra.
I was just going to say that.
Late break by Cooper Engel, but he makes up for it. Running in hard to grab it. 2 down.
It's a hard line that you got to play upon when you play all these close games, and you got to do almost everything right.
Right.
And there's been
Here comes Stephen Vogt to make a pitching change. He's going to go to Matt Festa for the right-handed hitting Mitch Garver when we come back. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Guardians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Guardians. Well, with 2 down and a runner at first base, Matt Festa coming on to face Mitch Garver. 35th appearance of the year for Festa. Mitch Garver had an RBI single back in the second, has struck out twice since then. One ball, 1 strike.
Well, you can see Matt Festa coming into the game, mixing up his 2 looks already. We saw what happened last inning when the Mariners get an extra 90 feet.
The 2-1 just missed off the outside edge. 3 balls and a strike. So a walk pushes Cole Young into scoring position. And with 2 down, Victor Robles will be the batter.
Chris, I know you've been around for a long time. You might have to help my guy out, Angel Martinez, who's sitting right here with me with the bat. He's dealing with having to be patient. He's not allowed to run yet. He's hitting off a tee, but it's been hard for him to watch these games because he wants to, you know, he's a young guy. He's full of energy.
For sure.
But he's feeling better. He just says he's got to wait and do everything the doctors are telling him. They don't want him running on the foot. He's out of the boot. But like I said, he's got that bat everywhere he's going. He goes, I want to hit off live pitching. And they're like, no, that's kind of how you got this problem.
That's true.
Got to hit off the tee for now.
Look at Chad making sure.
He's got to stay on him. But I guess I would ask, as a player, and you see your team struggling and missing you, how do you stay patient and how do you keep, you know, helping? Because he's down here, he's cheering for the guys, he's trying, but he still wants to run out there when it's time to run out there, and he can't.
And that is the hardest thing of being on the injured list. You know, it's trying to figure out a way to contribute as that ball's out of play here behind us. But that's what I found the most disgruntling part is, especially when your team's going through it. You want to be out there with your guys. You want to help. You know, you try to get to the ballpark early, and you can see Chad and Angel have a fantastic relationship, but Chad's just making sure Angel doesn't do anything to get him or himself in trouble.
Right. Matt, something to put in your back pocket. I'm watching a little bit of White Sox in Kansas City. Kansas City's up in the 6th inning right now, 5-4. And Dominguez is in, their closer. So I wonder if they're taking him out of the closer spot after last week.
Wouldn't be surprised. Challenge coming from Patrick Bailey. First by Cleveland
The
today.
pitch is called a ball. The catcher's challenging.
Seattle's 4 for 4.
The call is confirmed. Cleveland has 1 challenge remaining.
It's worth a shot. It's close. I mean, again, that ball did not get where it was intended.
Center field, Kwan will make the catch. Top of the order coming up for the Guardians after the 7th inning stretch. (4-1) Mariners lead it as we get ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. This is the 25th anniversary of that Seattle Mariners club that set the American League record with 116 wins, and a key member of that ball club was Ichiro Suzuki, who as a rookie that year edged out CC Sabathia by the smallest of margins to win the American League Rookie of the Year. Interesting that they both ended up going into the Hall of Fame last year together. It's kind of fitting when you talk about their careers, but Ichiro had an incredible career as a hitter. He was just a wizard with the bat. I mean, when you talk about what he did, both combined in the big leagues and in Japan, over 4,000 career hits.
It's incredible. You know, the fact that, again, a lot has been made of Japanese-born players coming over here after they've had some professional experience. He was kind of the first to really burst onto the scene here in the U.S., and boy, did he really, I mean, just start an absolute firestorm. I've heard so many stories about him his rookie year and Lou Piniella not thinking he could play, and then he goes out and has 250 hits.
Yeah, and then 3 years later, he broke a record that had stood for 8 decades. George Sisler's record fell when Ichiro had 262 hits, and then 5 years later, Ichiro's in the All-Star game in St. Louis. He had not played in St. Louis much up to that point in his career, and so he became such a historian and so respectful of the history of our game here in America that before the All-Star game, when he was in St. Louis, he went to George Sisler's grave, who played most of his career with the St. Louis Browns, and laid flowers at Sisler's grave. That tells you about the amount of respect that he had for the history of the game.
Yeah, and being a former teammate of Ichiro's, I can back that up because he was the most polite human being, would say hello to you every time he would walk by. Spoke perfect English too, by the way, but maybe didn't do that publicly, but just an ambassador, an incredible ambassador for the game of baseball and the Seattle Mariners.
Stephen Kwan leading off for Cleveland here, bottom of the 7th inning. Gabe Spire, left-hander, on for Seattle.
Well, you and I were kind of sharing Ichiro stories before the game with each other, and
Kwan sends a high fly ball to right, but right at Robles. 1 down.
Boy, that wind is whipping up there, because I thought that ball was going to carry a little bit further than it did. But Ichiro gave my oldest son, Jace, his first pair of shoes, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah, and they were some sort of Converse that were like bedazzled and jeweled up, and I was like, holy smokes, man, I can't let my kid wear something like this.
Why not?
But that's the style.
He probably outgrew him already too.
He's a size 15 right now, so I'll say he outgrew it.
I think the thing that fouled up the third base side, the thing that I like about Ichiro is he said he visited the Hall of Fame several times before he was ever inducted. Just as a visitor, as a ball player, immersing himself in the history of the game. He would go into the basement and look through the archives and walk through the halls. And he said for him, going into the Hall of Fame, he said every time I went there, I felt like it cleansed me. Almost like a baptism of sorts.
Interesting.
And he said it just sort of, when he would go back to playing, he remembered why I'm doing this, because I love the game. And it just, if you've ever been to the Hall of Fame, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, it's very reverential. You walk in there, it's almost like being in one of the grand old cathedrals. A flip from Naylor to Spire, covering the bag, 2 down.
I've been lucky enough to go there one time. Playing in the New York Penn League when we were the Cleveland Guardians / Indians back in the good old days, and the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. We played in Oneonta, New York, and it was about a half hour from Cooperstown, and we had a bus that took about 5 or 6 of us up there and went and checked it out, and it was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen.
Here is Chase DeLauder 0 for 3 on the afternoon.
And side note to that, thank goodness they don't play baseball in Oneonta, New York anymore.
Not one of your hot spots?
No. I played left field there a game, and the shortstop, which I was 3 inches taller than, left field was about 2.5 feet lower than the infield. And I could barely see the pitcher. It was
playing downhill,
ridiculous.
huh?
Big time, or uphill, one of the two. I spent my career playing uphill.
Was Watertown in that league?
Watertown was not in that league. They were in the Appy League, I believe.
Okay.
Back in the Burlington Indian days.
Oh, yeah, there you go. 2-0 pitch down low to Chase DeLauder. Taken all the way, 3 balls and a strike.
Again, 2 quick outs. Your Chase, you're sitting 1 pitch in 1 spot and 1 spot only right here.
Chopped up the middle and through, and a CNI single for Chase DeLauder keeps the inning alive.
And that is a beautiful thing when you haven't seen a live pitch in about 2 weeks.
That is incredible. A lot of little top spin on that.
He topped it a perfect spot. Baseball is a game of inches. And a couple of inches left or right there, he's probably making a right turn back to the dugout.
We are going to get a pinch hitter for Kyle Manzardo as Rhys Hoskins is summoned from the bench. Redbird tells me that the Watertown Ball Club was in the New York Penn League from 1989 to 1998, and then they relocated to Staten Island.
So that was Staten Island. That was a beautiful ballpark when they brought that one along. A retractable batter's eye in center field where you could see the statue, or excuse me, yeah, it was the statue.
Ground ball single into left field. Rhys Hoskins has his first pinch hit of this season, and now the Guardians bring the tying run to the plate.
Well, Rhys wasn't waiting around. He got a pitch to his liking. A little sinker that stayed up and out over. And again, another perfectly placed ball here, just in between third baseman J.P. Crawford and Colt Emerson there at shortstop.
David Fry will pinch hit for Khalil Watson. Stephen Vogt emptying his bench. Nobody left.
And this is a unique experience for a manager, I'm sure.
Broke his bat, popped it up, first base, Josh Naylor. Inning over. 7 in the books, 4-1 Seattle.
Welcome back in to Progressive Field here, top half of the 8th inning. As the Mariners currently lead the Guardians 4-1. We got a few defensive changes for you as Rhys Hoskins will stay in and play first base. And David Fry also will stay in and play right field.
J.P. Crawford leading off for the Mariners. 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. And a chopper on the right side, knocked down by Hoskins. Long flip to Festa on the money. 1 away. And a word here from Liberty Ford.
Liberties in Aurora, Maple Heights, Canton, Palmer Heights, Brunswick, Vermilion.
Nothing like coming into the game and getting challenged on your first play.
The ball will find you. I was just about to say that. That's when the panic sets in, but you knock it down, get up, pick it back up, make a good throw.
Julio Rodriguez with a single to right center. Well, that's his 5th hit in the series. And as I alluded to last night, this is about that time of year where some kind of clock goes off for him, and it's like, oh, it's time to start hitting.
Death taxes, and oh, it's almost the All-Star break, so I need to get going.
Josh Naylor leaned into one his last time up, fouls this pitch straight back.
Well, just think of how different this offense looks if Julio's going like he has been. You start to get Josh Naylor going, and you just know at some point Cal Raleigh is going to figure it out as well.
There's one other guy that we haven't talked about, and I forgot they have him, is Brendan Donovan. Remember they traded with him from St. Louis?
He's been hurt for a while. Yeah. He's had an issue with a groin. It's given him some fits. He's been on and off the injured list now twice with that injury.
But I thought that he would change them defensive or offensively, just because he can handle the bat a little bit. And he's not an all or nothing hitter, so that's another guy. If they get him back in the second half, you'd think it would change their offense a little bit.
It's a good call.
He won't admit it, but Josh Naylor will be happy to leave Cleveland.
Yeah, I think he will admit it.
He has played 9 games now against Cleveland. Coming into today, he was 2 for 31 against his old boys. He did have an RBI double and scored a run in the 3rd inning today. It's funny because so many times we see former players come back to Cleveland and just go off, right? Just have great series, swing the bat well. For Josh, maybe it's too personal.
It could be.
Line drive. There's a base hit left center field. Cutting over to get it is Quan. He whirls and throws to second, holding Josh to a long single. He was thinking too.
Yes, he was.
He got about a quarter of the way towards second and saw Quan whirling like a dervish and firing right onto second base. And he said, I better hold.
I think that was the smart decision on his own part. But this is a really good swing going with the baseball. Look at how short that finish is. But look at him plant his foot in the ground, turn around, and make a perfect throw. And Josh was thinking too right out of the batter's box and thought better of it.
Now Randy Rosarino for 4. Takes a strike.
This is really difficult to have the body awareness to be able to spin, and look at that. That throw is dead on the middle of that bag. That's why that glove is gold.
It doesn't matter if he's in left or in center. He can spin and throw like nobody.
His court awareness is unbelievable. He knows where he is on the field at all times, and most importantly, he knows where that bag is. He doesn't have to spin, turn around, find the baseball, and throw.
Slowly hit to Rocchio. There's one on to first. Hoskins able to reel it in, and they turn an inning-ending double play. That gets Festa out of trouble, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th with the Guardians down 3. Well, our key play of the game, Emerson Hancock handcuffed the Guardians today. He did walk 3. He's only walked 3 in 3 starts this year, all against AL Central opponents, but none of those walks hurt him today.
Well, he was living on the edge, to say the least. Not a lot of balls in the heart of the plate. In and out of traffic on the base pass. Give the young man some credit.
Michael Rucker is the new pitcher for Seattle. Brian Rocchio down the right field line. That'll get down. He has a wide turn, but it's cut off nicely by Robles. And Rocchio holds with a leadoff single. So that gives him a hit in 4 straight games.
Nice start here. A little spinner from Rucker to start everything off. Getting perfectly placed there in the outfield. Little lob shot. And you can see Robles trying to bait Rocchio into going to second base there.
Outside, ball 1 to Cooper Ingle, who walked his last time up. Guardians down 3 here in the 8th. At double play, they'll get Festa and the Guardians out of the top half of the inning and keeping it a 3-run deficit. Again, Cleveland had so many chances today. They left 2 men on in the 7th, 6th, 5th, and 2nd innings going back.
10 total. Again, you got to look at this in a positive light. As rough as it's been, we haven't had that big hit. You're still setting yourself up in positions to get that big hit. And once it happens, the floodgates hopefully open.
More than that, even. The pitching has kept you within striking distance. One more runner and you get the tying run at the plate. In the dirt, full count to Cooper Ingle.
Well, Michael Rucker loves his breaking ball. Very heavy curveball usage. You'll see the cutter in there as well, the lefties. Good block there by Mitch Garver. Keep Brian Rocchio at first base.
I mean, here's the other side of the coin, right, Chris? The Guardians are frustrated. That's pretty obvious. Leaving 10 men on base, all the scoring opportunities they've had. And yet here's Seattle leading by 3. They've stranded 12 men on base.
Yeah.
This could very well be a laugher. But they haven't been able to get the big hit to put Cleveland away. So sometimes when you let a team hang around, it can come back to bite you late.
And you just hope that that's the case today, because this group could use one of those comeback victories right now. I think that would go a long way.
3-2 is ball 4, and the first 2 are aboard here in the bottom of the 8th. This is how it started for Cleveland earlier in the game. Back in that 2nd inning, remember their first 2 hitters were aboard. Then they executed a double steal. They had 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, but could not scratch out a run in that inning.
Right. And again, at some point the dam's going to break. Somebody's going to get that big hit.
Well, Daniel Schneemann got his 3rd pinch hit of the month in the 6th inning when he doubled coming off the bench to right field. That's down low, and here comes Mitch Garver saying, all right, we got to reel it back in here. 5 balls, 5 strikes for Rucker, and that Seattle bullpen will probably spring into action. Bet 365 scores from around the league. Mariners added a left-hander prior to the game, and that's him, Josh Simpson. Daniel Schneemann trying to keep the train moving for Cleveland here in this 8th inning. 27,934. enjoying an absolutely beautiful day here at the ballpark. It's warm, but there's a breeze. Sadly for the hitters, that breeze is not helping them. Off to the left, out of play.
Sometimes a breeze like this can help. It can hurt mentally. Guys that their game is to maybe elevate the ball a little bit more. It tends to hurt, but for this group of players, this should really emphasize staying on top of the baseball and hunting the top part of the ball.
Line drive approach.
Line drives go through the wind.
2-1 for Daniel Schneemann. Back out of play.
While we got a second, how about a happy 57th anniversary to Gary and Barbara Gordon of Newton Falls.
Man, we are on a roll with
yes,
the
we are.
50 and over anniversary club.
That is very impressive. Congratulations, you two.
2-2 pitch. Line drive single into center field. Verrocchio into third. They're going to wave him home. Here's the throw by Rodriguez. Nowhere close. Verrocchio scores. It's 4-2. Tying runs at first base. Go ahead run at the plate.
Well, we're starting to string a few together. Daniel Schneemann with an all-timer here. Watch this ball. You want to be a pitcher? Heads up.
Whoa.
That will, holy smokes. That ball was smoked. That'll get your heart rate going a little bit.
That's probably why pitching coach Pete Woodworth made a beeline to the mound just to let him catch his breath. They've got Simpson up and ready, but he'll probably be on to face Stephen Kwan and the slew of left-handed hitters to follow. Patrick Bailey, a switch hitter, will bat with first and second and nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. He is the go-ahead run at the plate. Bailey struck out in his first pinch hit appearance of the year in the 6th inning.
I'm going to present the same opportunity to you in this particular scenario. You've already scored a run in this inning. Runners at first and second and nobody out. Do you think about bunting?
I think it's a smart play here.
I think so too.
He squares. He
Continue
gets the
to put
bunt up.
pressure.
Perfectly executed. Took a look at third and he throws to first just in the nick of time. But Bailey gets the tying run to second base.
Well, that is a fantastic job by Patrick Bailey. Get that ball on the ground, put your head down and start running. Rucker realizes really quick, I do not have a play at third base. I have to go to first base, and just barely makes the play there as well.
They're going to stay with the right-hander Rucker.
Surprised in this as well, but Josh Simpson, all 2 1/3 innings to his name this year, may not be the young man you want in this particular scenario.
Stephen Kwan takes a fastball for a strike. Kwan is 1 for 4 today. A bunt single back in the 5th.
Hey, he can let this track. Look between the difference of Rosarina in left field and Crawford in third. If he can just get one of those patented.
It's up high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Those patented bloops down the left field line, you can score 2 guys because there's a big difference between those 2 right now, between third and left field.
There is. That is a great point. You've got the middle infield playing back. You've got the corners in. All Stephen Kwan has to do is get something to the middle part of the field here, and we're talking about a 1-run game.
Lay track and do what you do.
You can see there Emerson and Young playing back up the middle of the field.
2-1. He had a big rip at it, and the fastball straight back. 2-2.
He might want that one back. This is a heater up and away here. You can see Garver wants it in. That ball fades back to the outer third.
In the dirt, full
Great
count.
take.
Travis Bazzano waiting on deck. The payoff pitch. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And Dan Wilson's hand has been forced. The Mariner manager will go to the left-hander Simpson with the bases loaded and 1 out here in the 8th inning. And the Guardians trailing by 2. Josh Simpson thrown into the fire. Bases are loaded for Cleveland with 1 out. The left-hander was just called up yesterday. Made his Mariners debut back in May. He was acquired at the start of spring training from Miami. He's got big league experience previously with the Marlins as well. Now, keep this in mind, he walked 10 batters in 21 innings at AAA.
Right.
So here we go. Travis Bazzana digs in. And it's outside, ball 1. Cooper Ingle, the runner at third base. Daniel Schneemann, the tying run at second. Stephen Kwan, the go-ahead run at first.
You will see that sweeper over 60% of the time with Josh Simpson.
Popped up, foul, out of play to the left.
This is one of those situations you want to be the hero right here, but you got to slow that heart rate and hunt your hot zone.
Popped it up. Third base, Crawford. Infield fly rule, 2 down. So that will leave it up to Chase DeLauter. DeLauter singled his last time up. He bounced one right through the center of the diamond. He is 1 for 4 in his return from the injured list after missing 11 games with the rib fracture. Simpson slings it in there, but it's high, ball 1.
Well, if you're Chase DeLauter right here, again, the pressure is on Simpson. You have to lock in on your location, your zone, the pitch you're looking for. You don't need anything more than what you had last at bat.
It's outside, 2-0.
He has to come to you in this situation. The entire field is open. This is one of those situations as a hitter, you're salivating right now. There it is.
Base hit center field. Ingle scores. Schneemann comes home with the tying run. Kwan the go-ahead run to third. Chase DeLauter off the injured list, delivering in the clutch, and we're tied at 4.
Now how big of a difference is it that this young man is back in the heart of this lineup? And I can pretty much guarantee you the Mariners cannot wait to not see him again. This is a 2-seamer. Right down the middle part of the plate. Simpson knew he had to come on the plate with a strike. And we just talked about the entire field being open. Chase DeLauter paying massive dividends.
3 runs home here in the 8th inning for Cleveland. And now a chance to take the lead. Rhys Hoskins singled to the left side of the infield as a pinch hitter in the 7th.
We're going to have to call him the Mariner killer. They're never going to see him again, Chris.
That is the truth. He's got an APB out for him in Seattle right now.
Cade Smith getting loose in the bullpen for Cleveland as Hoskins takes a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Cleveland was 0 for 7 in this series with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. And I told you, you just needed that 1 hit to break the dam open.
Left field, deep, down the line. Fair ball. In the corner. Quan scores the go-ahead run. DeWatter's going to be waved home. Here's the throw to the plate. He is out. And the ball came loose. He's safe. He's safe. 6-4 Guardians.
Wow. Rhys Hoskins, first of all, couldn't have placed that ball any bit better down the left field line. Gets a sweeper on the outside part of the plate and does a fantastic job of keeping that barrel on the inside part of it. An aggressive send by Rugi Odor there at third base. The issue I had is the bat. The bat is right in the way, so Chase couldn't slide.
Dan Wilson has come out to talk to the umpires, and now they are convening. The ball came out.
I don't think there's anything between the call of fair ball and the play at the plate.
So Wilson is challenging the ball down the line.
I was thinking, I
don't know what
Bodie's
you can
upset about it.
at home
I don't
plate.
think he can challenge anything at home plate. There's nothing Chase could have done there at home plate. There was zero. He wasn't trying to dislodge the ball. Bodie's trying to get an explanation right now. Then, to me, they're trying to initially the ball down the line in left field. Is it fair? Let's see here. I think that's a fair ball. Randy might be over there trying to kick dirt on it. It's certainly close. I don't see, I mean, the umpire is right on, Carlos Torres is right on that there at third base.
Looks like it hits the chalk, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does. Gosh, my first thought was once that ball went fair, I immediately looked at home plate. I saw the bat sitting there. And again, that's so tough. As Stephen Kwan, you can see that he's trying to slide. There's nowhere for him to go without sliding on the bat. And I think he might have just been safe to begin with. Like he might have got that foot in there and realized that ball was dislodged. But the bat sitting in that particular spot may have actually made him safe to begin with, because I think if he slides, he's probably out. Great pick there, too, by Mitch Garver. You can see Stephen Kwan pointing at the ball.
Back in replay command. You're going over all of the different angles and replays. I'm assuming they've confirmed the ball was fair. So now,
at the review, the call of fair is confirmed. It was a fair ball. The call of safe at the plate is confirmed. It was safe, and Seattle will lose their challenge.
a 5-run 8th inning for Cleveland, and Rhys Hoskins punctuating it with a double right down the left field line, 2 for 2 off the bench.
Well, once again, this inning has been kind of the epitome of what this group has needed for the last 10+ days. Now you got David Fry up with an exclamation point in his hand.
The 9th man to bat in the inning. The Guardians striking with back-to-back 2-out, 2-run hits. The Lauderdale's 2-run single tied it. Hoskins' two-run double put him ahead. The hardest hits to get in baseball.
The pitcher's called a ball. The catcher is challenging.
Again, you go back to DeLauder hustling the entire way on that as well.
The call's confirmed. Seattle has one challenge remaining.
Seattle's magic appears to have run dry. They were 4 for their first 4 on ABS. They lose on the video replay challenge, and they lose on the ABS challenge now. High 3-0. Where is it? 3-0.
I believe it's 3-0.
3-0, yeah.
And if I'm David Fry, I really have to consider a 3-0 swing here if this is something I like.
He gave it a rip. 3-1.
That's the perfect situation. No harm, no foul. So be it. Now it's 3-1. You're still on an advantage count right there. But to me, to give that young man a free strike right there didn't make a lot of sense.
Full count. The payoff. He checked. He did not go. It's ball 4. Third walk of the inning. And the inning will continue. As Brian Arocchio steps to the plate, he began the inning with a single to right field. He has hit in 4 straight games. Cade Smith ready to come on to pitch the ninth. What a turn of events here in Cleveland. You know, just as the inning was beginning, I was saying that the fact that as frustrating as it's been for Cleveland, the missed opportunities by Seattle allowing Cleveland to hang around and keep it close.
You were on it.
Chase DeLauder, his first game back off the injured list. 2 hits, 2 runs batted in. Popped up, shallow left, in comes a Rosarina. 6-4 Guardians. Cade Smith will try to close it, thanks to an incredible performance by the Guardians hitters in the 8th inning. Ninth inning, 6-4 Cleveland. Cade Smith last night notched his 25th save of the season. He's got 3 outs to get number 26 and give the Guardians a series win. He's got Cal Raleigh, Cole Young, Colt Emerson due up for Seattle. Fouled back out of play.
There you have it. Cade Smith versus the do-ups there. Cal Raleigh 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. If you're Cade.
Line to center. Back goes Quan, still going back, makes the catch. 1 down.
Well, if you're Cade, you're take that all day. Hard out. Thank you, Cal. That split kind of hung up there just a bit. But again, big first out here in the top half of that 9th inning.
Cole Young 1 for 4 on the day. Seattle led this game 3-0 going into the bottom of the 5th when the Guardians got their first run of the game. It came after they loaded the bases with nobody out, but they managed just 1 run on a sacrifice fly. They had left 10 men on base going into the bottom of the 8th when they turned this game on its head.
The pitcher's called a ball. The catcher's challenging.
Patrick Bailey challenging the ball call. That one was close.
The call is confirmed. Cleveland is out of challenges.
Two-one popped up. Will it stay in play? Down the line it goes, slicing into the seats over the netting.
I bet the wind just pushed that 40 feet to the left. We had kind of a unique view from the booth up here, but that thing just made a left-hand turn.
Yeah, that breeze is pretty significant. Blowing in from center all day long.
Well, that's such an advantage to the pitcher.
2-2. Hit hard to right field. Cole Young not ready to call it a day. His second hit of the afternoon brings the tying run to the plate.
Now batting for the Mariners, shortstop number 4.
Well, they tried to go up top. Short, smooth stroke there. Cole Young, great swing.
Now Colt Emerson 0 for 4. The Ohio native's lone hit in the series was a home run in the opener. Line right back up the middle off the glove of Rocchio. Young will go to third. So now the Mariners have the tying run at first base with 1 out in the 9th.
In another split that kind of stayed up. Brian Rocchio gave it a heck of an effort there. And that run going into third base means absolutely nothing. It was imperative, though, as that ball just hits off the end of Brian Rocchio's glove. Great effort. Again, the important run here in this situation is now at first base. Looks like we're going to have a little pinch hit action.
Carl Willis out to talk with Cade Smith and Patrick Bailey. Dominic Canzone has been announced as a pinch hitter for Mitch Garver. Canzone, left-handed bat with some pop. Another Northeast Ohio native. Canzone batting .275 on the year. He's hit 12 homers, has 13 doubles. Zone. He's a guy that likes to elevate the ball, but should he hit one on the ground, he's not running all that well. He could be a double play candidate.
And again, even if he does elevate this ball, he'll trade outs for runs at this particular moment.
Fastball in there, 1-1. Missed away with the splitter. And he fouls it back, 2-2.
That was a good swing on that pitch as well. Now, this is Dan Wilson's bullet to fire in this situation. He's been one of their hottest bats at the plate.
Victor Robles waits on deck. I wouldn't be shocked to see Luke Raley.
I would have to agree with you in that regard.
Again, the 2-2 from Cade Smith. Back out of play, can't zone. Spoiling some tough pitches. 97 top of the zone, 98 right there.
Well, if you're Cade, you got a pitch here to play with, but you also got to play this really smart. You don't want to get yourself in a situation where you know you have to come with a fastball.
Swing and a miss. Oh, he got him with the splitter. He waited and waited and waited, and then finally threw him that nasty split to get the strikeout, 2 down.
Well, this is pitch by pitch. You see the four seam at the top. That's a perfect strike right there on the corner. There's a split that was elevated, and then he went to work at the top part of the strike zone. That's 97, 97, heart of the plate 98, and then good night. That was the good split. He got on top of that, and look at the bottom flaw out of that thing.
No Luke Raley. They stick with Victor Robles. He checks on a ball down low. Robles has 2 infield hits today and has scored a run. Again, the tying run for Seattle is at first base. He checked his swing, and the ball goes off the bat to the netting. And it's 1-1. Almost 28,000 up on their feet. The 1-1. Bouncing ball. Bazana. It gets away from Hoskins. He couldn't scoop it out, and the tying run goes to third. The go-ahead run now into scoring position. It's 6-5.
Well, it almost looked like Travis tried to get rid of that ball just a hair too quick. Maybe had a little bit more time. And that is a heck of an effort there by Rhys Hoskins. You can see Patrick Bailey directed traffic, knowing somebody has to get to the plate there. Daniel Schneemann did a good job of vacating third base as well.
So the air on Bazana keeps it alive for a moment. Rocchio sets, throws, book it. The Guardians survive. They take the series. 6-5 is the final.
Well, it wasn't easy, but it was worth it in the end. Cade Smith locking down his 26th save of the season. And what an effort by this offense collectively as a group. Multiple opportunities like you mentioned. And finally the big hit when they needed it the most.
The winning pitcher is Matt Festa. He goes to 2-1. Cade notches save number 26, as Chris mentioned. Guardians go to 44-40 on the year as they take the series, the season series, and all time they're 68-67 against Seattle in this ballpark now.
We talked about,
or 63-62, I should say.
We talked about this being a massive game for a multitude of reasons. To take the season series, I think, is the biggest one, because don't think for 1 second that when this offense for the Seattle Mariners figures it out eventually, that season series win is going to come big come September.
6-5 the final score. Guardians get to 21-18 at home on the year as they go to 44-40, and they'll welcome in the Texas Rangers for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow night. What drama we had here this afternoon. Cleveland fell behind 3-0. They got to within 3-1. Then Seattle made it 4-1, and it didn't look like it was going to happen for Cleveland's offense today. They had opportunity after opportunity slipped through their fingers, but in the 8th inning, it all came together. 5 runs on 4 hits. The 2-run single by Chase DeLauder tied it up, and Rhys Hoskins' 2-run double gave him the lead for good. Downstairs we go to Andre Knott.
Thanks a lot, Matt. We have Chase DeLauder, Rhys Hoskins with us. And just, Rhys, let me start with you. Just to sit here and watch how these young guys battle back. How big was it to see what Chase did after he was out for that many games and be able to help this team the way he did today?
Yeah, it's a testament to what this guy's doing behind the scenes, trying to stay ready. Didn't have to go out for an assignment and just came ready to hit and made an impact on the game.
Well, you made an impact as well coming off the bench. Just as this game got going, it had a slow roll to it. What helped you guys? Schnee had a couple hits that were big off the bench as well as you.
Yeah, we just had, I think, some quality at bats late in the game. Right, their starter was very good and located a lot of his pitches, but that's why we play 9 innings. So we just put together some good at bats, and I think that's contagious, especially in the late innings.
Appreciate it, man. Chase, we didn't see you for a little while. How nice is it to be able to come right back, no rehab assignment, and get right back in the mix of things?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, there's nothing more than you want to be on the field with these guys right here. I mean, it's been fun all year long, and to take that break and watch them on the road was not the most enjoyable, but I mean, happy to be back. I'm happy it's a nice long home stretch for the fans, and let's get some more wins over here.
I don't think the Mariners are ever going to want to see you again. How big was it to get the first hit to kind of top through, to kind of build the confidence up after not playing for a few weeks?
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, of course, when you come back, you're kind of itching to get some of those swings off, find the barrel, something like that. Of course, not doing a rehab assignment, I hadn't really faced any live pitching up until today. So just looking for something early, looking for something over the plate, and just trying to get swings off.
You guys win the series, but also for you, knowing all these younger guys, seeing Cooper come up, seeing Khalil come up, what does it say about this organization that you got all these young guns right now making a big difference?
It's great. I mean, that started this winter, though. Like, we had guys up here doing hitting camps. I mean, we preach, these are our guys. Like, when we get up here, this is what we're playing with, and we have the vets to lead us, and we go.
Chase, great job today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Andre, and thanks to Chase, and thanks to Rhys Hoskins. What a performance. What a wild game, wild finish for sure. And Tom Bochenek, our esteemed statistician, pointing out that not once did the side go in order on either side of the ledger here this afternoon. It was a kind of a strange game. There were opportunities aplenty for both teams. In the end, I think Seattle, they're going to go home kicking themselves because they had so many chances to maybe put this game on ice. They couldn't do it. They let Cleveland hang around, and the Guardians found a way to win it.
Yeah, you said it. Let a good team, something like this, hang around and give a guy or a group of guys that's hungry, that's ready to release that pressure release valve, an opportunity. And the next thing you know, here we have it.
Speaking of hungry, let's go eat.
Yeah.
Longest game of the year, Tom Bochenek says, in terms of 9-inning games. 3 hours, 18 minutes. That means Al and Austin Jackson, they've been waiting. Now it's time for them to take you home. Guardians postgame is next.